Are we ready? I know I am. So, whether or not you are, it's time for another episode of the Indie Tales Game Dev live stream. Hey, my name is Adam. You are the Pixel Pals. I've already said the name of the show, so without further ado, it's time to go. Welcome everyone to the, what is it? It's the Tuesday edition of the stream. Today I'm a little lower than I normally would be. Not in mood, but in physical height. Because my chair, the pneumatic tube has lost all of its pressure. So I can't be higher. It's not a new chair. The chair just gave up on me. So, I mean, I can move the camera down, but let's have a look. I don't think it's going to get us where we want to be. The thing is, the desk relative to me is now much higher. And so you're going to see the camera, not the camera, the microphone stuff here, which, you know, it is what it is. All right. So, how's everybody been? Hopefully you've been having a good day. I've been having a stressful day. I've been working on archaeology stuff, which I'd hoped to be finished with today, but I ran into we're doing some not networking, but cross game instance messaging. So there's like a master game instance that syncs up all of the others so that they all start at the same time for like the challenge events and stuff, and then sync with the lighting in the room. And implementing that system meant ripping out or turning off a bunch of the behavior for how like the game actually is supposed to work for the majority of those systems, because like normally they'd be setting their own challenges. So long story short, it took me like 3 hours to solve this bug, which totally threw out my day, meaning I have to go spend probably another 3 hours doing other things on it another time. And yeah, just kind of like, you know, when you think you're about to finish solving something and then you don't, and then you think, oh, okay, well this time for sure. And then like it's 3 hours later and like you're all tired and your eyes all strained and you haven't eaten. That's kind of what I've been doing today. Today, we will be working on some Insignia stuff. My motivation is really low. I think I'm just not feeling great. Didn't sleep amazingly last night, but not too bad. It's just, you know, just sometimes you just don't get what you need. So my patience for working, my motivation to work on certain parts of the game is just like a little low. Today I had a meeting with the team. In fact, you know what? Before we get too deep into that, let's just say a big welcome to everybody who's here in chat. Krautesh, Swizz, Ed Conky, Larzy, Virtue vs. Vice. Hey. Big thanks also to anybody who's lurking on YouTube. I see you. And also a final thanks to our most recent follower, Blazin, and most recent subscriber, Magnus. Thank you so much. Oh boy, I've just been going through it a little bit, you know? It's not like none of these things are problems, but like I feel when I'm maybe a little overworked, I just get this sense of like demotivation from the strain of having to think about things that I don't have answers to right now. I just find myself in that headspace quite a lot. Let me fix this guy right here. 1 second. I'm gonna pop this up, and then I'm gonna turn this forward, and that might get us a lot more air. Okay. Yeah. So I just, you know, like I said, positive things are happening for sure. I'm just finding myself just not feeling great, you know? There's just like too many factors that my brain wants to try and solve, and it can't solve them right now. And it's just like, it just feels like a lot. And it's all good stuff. It's just like an acknowledgement that some of the steps that I've taken with Insignia I just didn't get the order of everything right in terms of like when to spend what time on what factor of the production. Obviously, you can only know what you know when you know it, so you can't like force yourself to have made better decisions. But I just feel this sort of pressure to have been more on top of the marketing, or more brave, or more, I don't know what it is, just like more assertive. And it's not that I think that the game needed to be marketed earlier in terms of like what the game was ready to be. Like, I don't think it was ready, it was the right time, but I've got other opportunities where if I had been marketing earlier, those opportunities might have been easier to negotiate. So it's just like, I guess I just didn't expect quite as much publisher attention as we're getting at the moment, which I asked for it. And maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it's like fine if like those things don't rush. But I feel the impulse to rush. You know, I feel like I have to have solved a bunch of stuff already and be a lot further along. And at the same time, like, you know, where the team is at, like, I want to give them the best chance to keep going and do what they do. It's just like, you know, you only have so many hands and there are only so many plates, and there are too many plates for how many hands you have. And so you all you can do is spin the ones you think need to be spun right now without falling. And it's just hard. It's just hard to do that. Like, just living in that is difficult. It's not even that I think I'm making good decisions or bad decisions. It's just like the pressure of spinning plates is difficult to tolerate sometimes. Okay. And I become less tolerant of my time as well. When my time is not, when I don't have the time that I think that I'm going to have on something, I start getting agitated because it's like, I needed this time to spin this plate. And now it's starting to wobble and I can't let it fall because that's really important. Anyway, today I was on a bit of a chat. I had a chat with our sound team and we had a good conversation about production and the value of bringing the team into the production more directly, particularly in the engine. That's what I'm really trying to say. Having them in the engine is really valuable. And I'm starting to notice there's something that I can start to feel, which is it's eating me a little bit inside, that I don't have a scalable way to deal with the in-game data outside of Unity. I don't think this is like my signal to like make some new tool, but it really bothers me that we don't already have a tool that does the thing that I want. And that thing is, you know, I'm doing storyboarding at the moment for the team so that they can get an understanding of what chapter 2 is like. This is like what happens in chapter 2, all the plot beats. Okay, each of these beats, each of these little rectangles is a cutscene in the game. That cutscene, they should be able to click a link here to go and preview that cutscene in the game, or at least to do something to get us closer to where it is, because they're going to have to go find it now, right? Like Morgan and Elias, when they do the music and the sound on these things, they have to somehow get into the project from here and be as, the distance between this and pressing play and watching the cutscene back needs to be as short as possible. And so there's this idea of like, well, I have the data set and I have a view for it. And that view needs to be, the view could be generated. It could be. I just don't have a tool set up to generate that view, like an in-Unity database to allow you to scrub through stuff, or even something that connects to Figma that lets us link to Unity or something like that. This is nothing like that I can do right now. Ideally, I suppose it would be in Unity to hot load stuff. we don't have, there's this thing that they do in, I think, the Odin inspector. Let me see. Unity. It's basically what I'm kind of describing today is like a spreadsheet system for Unity. Like a table view. Something like this. Not a tree view, but something where I can say, hey, I'm just going to create a really big filterable set of data, and that data is going to populate like a table. And we're going to use reflection or whatever to grab all of the properties of that thing. And we're going to just dump it here. And you can search for the thing, and then I can generate a link. You press play and you just go whoop, straight to that thing that you're looking for. In the past, the data that I've been concerned about is really like quest flags and items. But now I'm starting to think, well, it's also for the team, it's cutscenes as well. For them to be able to understand and watch it, they need to be able to traverse the cutscenes. So, you know, it's not, it doesn't seem to be CSV into scriptable objects might be the simplest. Well, yeah, well, that's the thing. These things exist as scriptable objects right now. So like, you know, if I want to go to this cutscene here, there is a scene called Voices in the Night. This is the object. There's a button called Debug Force Play. I could store a reference to this being in the level. No problem. It's not hard to do that. I have this thing called meta references already that I use in the game. And I have things, I have meta references for quest flags and I have meta references for items. I just don't have meta references for sequences, but it would be trivial to do that. That would take me 20 minutes to set that up and then scrub the project and then create a meta ref table with all of those references in it. So I think I could do that. I think it wouldn't be difficult to do. I just don't have, what I don't have is the editor that I would use to view those meta references. I mean, it's almost like, it's really this, right? This is the data, right? All this stuff. Those are all the cutscenes in the game. But it's like, I need to have like a button I can press on these that takes me to where that is in the game. You know, stuff like that. What scene does this belong to? Give me a button to jump to that scene and press play on the thing and run it. So there is other data here that I could store that I haven't really thought about, which is like, does this belong to a specific chapter? Is there like I've stored this information. If you think about the relationships between the data, I've stored this in like rows, and the rows have indexes like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is this part 2? Is it just for my sake? Is it just to be able to cluster these things? Potentially. Do these map one-to-one with the quest structure of the game? Not really. Like, for example, this Voices in the Night does not form any part of any quest. It's just a thing that happens when you load into this scene. So there is this tension between the chronological data structure of the game of just like, you can do this by virtue of this scene being placed physically after this scene, whatever cutscenes are in this one come before this one. So it's like, that's fine. Although if I was to rearrange these, it would be a different story. So there's the problem that I have right now that I knew I was going to run into, but I wasn't sure when, is that this Figma data structure, it's not representative of the game one-to-one, but it's also the easiest thing to produce. And there's never going to be a thing that I can produce that looks like this that's generatable from the game one-to-one. That's the other thing. There's no easy way to spit this out from the game in a format that's as readable as this. So I'm having to choose between readability and correctness. The problem with that is that correctness is important once you start to scale. Readability is really good for the beginning, just getting people understanding. And if this is all it is, if this is all of chapter 2, do I really need to go through the energy to go through the process of spending the energy to like maintain this giant thing? Or do I just like allow this to be a little bit incorrect for the purpose of the team being able to look through it and whatever? Very difficult answer. Very difficult to answer. Like you have to make a choice, and the choice will never cover all options. There's also the aspect of like tying any of this stuff to other views of the game. Like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Technically, we could place this over a map of the world, and we could say, okay, this is part 2. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or something like that. Like technically, I could do that. Again, it's not something that I could do inside of Figma without having to. Well, you could do it with links, but you would need to maintain those links. I'm starting to fall into an understanding about production and storytelling. This is going to be a chat episode. I'm starting to fall into this understanding that actually, as important as all of this stuff is, you can't ever establish a process that's so valuable that it is worth putting an infinite amount of time in relative to the alternative where you just wing it. Like winging it is going to get you a certain percentage of the way, and you will always have to wing some amount of it. The question is, what's the right amount of established workflow versus winging? With some, like we were listening to some music that Morgan wrote the other day, and the music that she wrote was great. And she didn't even write it for this scene, but we chucked it on this scene, and it sounded pretty good. So it's like the meta principle here is that like I'm trying to insert more intention into the game so that players extract more meaning from every aspect of it by having more control. If I have more control, I can put in more of my intention, and if I have more intention, I'm speaking more clearly to the player in how the game communicates, how well the story is edited, how smoothly it runs. It's paced, sorry. But at the same time, there's a degree to which the player will impose their own meaning on it, no matter what it is. If there is music, they'll think, oh, this music makes me feel this, even if, and there's no guarantee that I can actually make them feel the things that I want them to feel anyway. Of course, for me, I always try to do that. I always try to impose as much significance as I can into everything, but the control that I gain by adding more workflows is not proportional with the value that comes out. The value that comes out is it's diminishing. Still, right now, the team cannot use this, and they cannot search this in order to play the game. They cannot do it. What they would have to do is find the level by looking around, poking around, and then find this, and then run the game, and then see if this plays. If it does, then it's fine. Like, I can tell that this is playing because there's a checkbox under here called is playing. And so like technically I know that, okay, now I know what's playing. But for someone who doesn't, how do they know how to interact with this? I could just give them a tutorial and say, hey, this is how you do it. There you go, you know. What I don't want to do, the principle that I think is really important here is to minimize the amount of additional assets being generated. Like one thing we could have said was, hey, what if, Adam, you record a video of this cutscene and put that in a thing, and then they don't have to go into the engine at all. They can just play test it. It's like, yeah, but now I'm updating videos every time I change anything in the cutscene. So, you know, if that was auto updating, fine. But if it's not, that doesn't scale at all. I think it would be nice if we could have, like, if it's voices in the night, and that's all they have to find, this little blue thing, and then they can find in scene and press play and just check to see if the box got checked. Yeah. Like, it's already pretty good. I already have this button to highlight that. And unfortunately, they're not going to be able to, like, it's not possible to say in this cutscene here. Like, it's not possible for me, if there's a sequence here, this, not doors unlock, not return. There are cutscenes here. Well, this is the thing, right? There are cutscenes here. Where are they? Well, I know that there's some Crucible ones. They live under here. So sequence, Crucible unlocked, find in scene. Okay, here it is here. I can force play this, but Armin's not going to be in the right spot where he needs to be to run the cutscene. So even if I force it to play, like, something might break. You know? Like, we just happened to be close enough to this that it worked. But if Armin was, like, down at the bottom of the level, we wouldn't be able to do that at all. But even the flags set are difficult, because a lot of these things are entangled in such a way that, like, well, this only needs to play correctly if Armin's position, you know, like this cutscene, for example, plays when you interact with this thing. And so I know for a fact that Armin's position will be here. I don't have to encode it somewhere. But that would be, the position that Armin needs to be in would be one of those parameters. If I wanted to play this is, say, Discover Crucible sequence. If I click this and say Find in Scene. Okay, here it is. Discover Crucible sequence is... Well, I don't know what's pointing to this. There's the interactable, it's the anvil. Okay, so I know that this trigger box, this green box here, Armin needs to be standing within this in order to be able to trigger this animation. Like, it just won't, it physically is impossible to trigger it if you're not standing here and pressing S. So, like, what I would need to do is say, hey, you're trying to play Discover Crucible. That's connected to this detector. The detector is on this anvil, which is here. So when I press force play, place Armin at the anvil and then press play. That's possible, but it's not every cutscene works that way. So I'm having to put in a lot of logic. I'm having to impose a lot of logic and assumptions that the game was not built with. Like, there are lots of cutscenes that don't play because Armin's standing in a specific spot, but they do expect Armin to be standing in a specific spot because of how they're arranged in the scene. Like, this cutscene plays directly after that one, and that one checks where Armin's position is, but this one doesn't, because Armin can't move between the two, so it doesn't, we don't have to encode it anywhere. That little wrinkle would make the second scene impossible to preview this way. Hey, X29BD. Yeah, I mean, these days, I'm full-time as a game dev these days. So I'm either working on this, or I'm working on work that relates to this, or I'm doing, I'm doing like contract work that helps me work on this. Your podcast mic sounds really sensitive when you move it around. Do you use a PC speaker to hear the Insignia sound effects and stream music instead of headphones? Or are headphones to avoid feedback like how you are set up now? I'm not sure. Do you use a PC speaker to hear the Insignia sound effects? No, I've got earphones in right now. And those are playing the Insignia sound effects. And the stream music. It is, I've got headphones on. It's not isolated. Like my voice isn't being played back to me. I'm speaking in. The mic does have a monitor level. So the mic does play some of it back to me. Like if I press this, I can tell that it is quieter, but it's very low. So I can't really tell unless I turn it off. And then each of the different volume levels, those are being controlled. Like what you hear and what I hear are being modulated in OBS. So like I'm hearing my desktop as if it's my normal desktop. I've got the music playing at like really low volume. But then on your side, that desktop, like in OBS, there's like a desktop audio thing here, which I can then control for you separately. So I don't think it's a good idea to isolate the sound in such a way that you can't hear what's happening on the stream. You need to be able to hear it, because otherwise chat might be having their ears blown out and you can't tell. So it's just about balancing it. It is quiet. I've got my PC audio set at 50% at the moment though, so everything's like nicely balanced right now. But I'm not, like, you're hearing it essentially the way I'm hearing it. It's not that different. It's just maybe a little more quiet for me. Okay, so no, well, I'm not getting feedback because I'm not playing anything out of my PC speakers. There's no audio that's being picked up by the mic other than my voice. And then that's coming back out to my ears. That's not being played through the speakers. Otherwise I would get feedback. But also this mic is like a super shotgun style mic. It's front address. It doesn't, you'd have to be standing right. I'd have to bring the speaker and put it right here, even if it was playing out of the speaker, which it's not. So right now the speaker's not going to do anything, but because it's silent. But yeah, the earphones won't create feedback because they're not playing back into that. Okay, so we've established that there's not really anything that I can do to set this up. All I could do, like I could do some sort of like record system where like when this last played, store the exact game instance info, like a save state of the entire game at the moment when you last played this sequence. That would be crazy. Like every enemy, whether they're dead or alive, every, like the time of day in the game, like the whatever, the Armin's HP, his position. I could take everything in the game and store whether or not it was on or off, or where its positions were, or, you know, that kind of stuff, and all the quest flags. And then have that little instance basically be used to be stored against the last time you played this cutscene. So that when I press play on this thing here, find in scene or play in scene or whatever, I press play and it goes, load up the scene and the attached save data. Now everything's exactly the same. Go. It's not like an unreasonable idea, but it might be very hard to do that. Not hard. With a simple game, it would be simple, but with a game that's got as many things in it as this one, it might be hard to do. There would be some things that you probably couldn't... Actually, I don't... The idea would be to not resolve state at runtime. Or otherwise, be always resolving state at runtime. No matter what's happening, you're always resolving state so that you're never having to expect certain things to be done a certain way. If that makes any sense, you probably don't understand what I'm saying. I don't know. Have to think about it. Could I just store everything? I mean, storing everything requires like a lot of tinkering, because I would need to tag things as stateable or something like that, and then be able to read and write to those objects. That's hard. That's really hard. Especially if I wasn't planning on building the whole game around that. Like if this was Braid, you could absolutely do this. But I haven't built the game in such a way that would let me do that. If it's just Armin's position, it might be okay. It's just a little bit hacky. But maybe that's enough. Maybe hacky is good enough for what we need. Just store Armin's position the last time this was saved. Something like that. Last time this was played, sorry. Like, you know, for example, there's a cutscene in here called, you know, where is it? I think it might be Rose. Does she have them on her? She does. Okay, so say I wanted to play this, Rose Day 1. I actually can't force this cutscene to play because of how I'm using sequence players at the moment. This is the old way. So again, more legacy stuff that would break this system. Rose here has a bunch of cutscenes that are attached to her game object, and those cutscenes will play in sequence, and I can't force play them from here because that uses a different system to do that. I probably could build that feature in. It just means I need like a completely different inspector for all this stuff. It should be possible. It's not that crazy of an ask to say, hey, like, can I just play this one right now? The bedroom is full of Quebec. It does have the fleur de lis in it. Full of Quebec. Oui, c'est une pièce québécoise. Une pièce québécoise? I don't know. Une chambre. Wait, is pièce female? But chambre is male? Un chambre? Une chambre? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Une chambre. Ah. Voilà. Je vois. So, is it unreasonable? Let's just do it, okay? I'm just going to start adding in features, and I'll get as far as I get. I'll time box it. It doesn't have to be crazy. We don't have to spend 2 weeks on this thing. We could just spend as much time as we want to spend today on it, and then that'll be it. So, I love this Pomo focus. I'm going to build in a Pomodoro system into the Unity. Maybe we'll spend a little bit of time like later today, if I have time, or maybe tonight I'll do it. Like working on my Unity stream overlay, and I'll build a Pomodoro timer in it, and it will sit right here, and it will show the time remaining on the Pomodoro, and it'll show you, I'll have a button I can press to show you all the things we did today. The new keyboard that I have is this one. It is a Newfie Air 75 key. Actually, this is an 84 key keyboard, but it's called an Air 75 because it's 75%. It has the brown switches, and I chose it because it's low profile, and it is like, it's probably like suitable for travel, which it's a little heavy, which I like. It is still suitable for travel. I would just need like a better, I need somewhere to store it. It does have wireless. It has a bunch of features. You can make it wired or wireless. There's a switch there. It's got some fun feet on it. I am using it flat. I really like it, actually. It's totally grown on me, and I'm now a low profile keyboard boy. I don't mind the mechanical keys. The brown switches are good. I can show you like monkey type, how I type on it. I'm not great, but you know. Still learning. Not very good. Let's try again, but I'll do it with a normal way to do it. I'm okay. It's okay. I can hit 100 when I'm feeling good. So this keyboard is good. It's a good keyboard. I like it a lot. I'm definitely growing. It's growing on me, and my fingers are becoming more familiar with it. I need like a little more confidence. I'm finding like the more I try to navigate my computer with my keyboard, the easier it gets. Like, for example, I can do this, you know, Windows key 1, 2, 3, just like remembering where things are on the keyboard. You know, like just thinking about keeping my hands, if you can keep your hands on the keyboard, you know, it's a lot easier. So I'm going to take a break. We'll come back and we'll start building some stuff. I'm just going to not think too hard about it. I'll see you in a bit. Okay. Here we go. All right. Let's just go for it. Oh, sorry, pals. Okay. So. Okay, let's do it. We got 25 minutes. Let's go. So, what I'd like to do, first of all, is make the sequence player a lot more straightforward. I don't want to see these anymore. I don't think I use them anywhere. So let's go to the sequence player. I'm almost certain that I don't have these plugged in anywhere in the game. So I can just hide in Inspector. This is a tag in Unity that you can just assign to something and it'll just hide it. I want it to be public. It's okay for it to be public, but I just don't want it visible when I'm looking at the inspector because the team doesn't need to see this. That's the first thing. This is really more of like a UX thing. Okay. Another thing is that pop-up text, like this thing needs to go. It's just not relevant. Play state is okay. I do use that. Condition interactable, I do use that. Timeline index and index. These are more debug. or playback, which they're okay, but it'd be nice to have a custom editor for this so that I could hide those things. I just don't think it's super valuable right now. In any case, it's not that complicated it's like pretty straightforward. Maybe some headings would help. Let's do that next. I'd love to be able to collapse these. I wonder if that's possible. Even is playing should be not in the header. Technically, it should be like right there. Oh no, where did my playback info go? It sucks, we have to reload this every time. Okay, and then pop-up, text, and director need to go into connections as well. So let's ask GPT, is there a native Unity way to turn a list of inspector properties, public variables into a foldout, like similar to the way we're denoting header. For reals? Oh, you make it a struct. Huh. Yeah. I mean, that's not like super unreasonable. The problem is is there a way to do this at runtime without losing, to do this without breaking existing references in serialized references? What if there previously wasn't a struct? Wait, my script? Wait, really? I can do that? That'll work? I honestly don't believe it. but I'm happy to give it a go. That seems like crazy. It thinks that you could just do it. It thinks you could use formally serialized as from inside of a struct. Wait, what? This. And then put that. So you're saying I could take values assigned to take variables declared in sequence player, make new ones in a new class struct, and that was serializable, and use formerly serialized as to port them. Improbably. It seems improbably. Right. It cannot move fields. Yeah, duh. I'm not going to do that. I just said duh. Yeah, obviously that's not going to work. So we got to stick with headers for now. Or the other way would be write a custom inspector. That will work too. A custom inspector will let me screw with this as much as I want. Sorry, pals. Okay. So my goal is to make these playable. It's not to make this perfect. Let's make it playable. I'd like to be able to drag these into this. It sucks that we can't. There's nothing I can really do to make it work that way. I would certainly need a play button in a custom inspector to do that, to just play any one of these. Unless I make a new, so like I could make a property draw for a sequence. But that doesn't seem to get me where I want to go, because a property draw for a sequence will need to, like, it doesn't know what it's playing on. So it doesn't have the context of the object within which it is stored, which means I wouldn't be able to play it. This would have to be a new, this would have to be a new class or just an editor, a custom editor, which renders a list of sequences and draws the play buttons on each of them. I don't think just pressing is playing does anything right now. No, that's kind of broken. So this is actually read only. Godot is better than Unity, you would, I mean, you could feel that if you want. I don't think so, but happy for you to have that opinion. There are lots of ways I could say that's true, and probably more ways I could say it's false. Okay. Certainly has a better licensing structure. Sorry, getting a message. Okay, cool. Okay. So now coming back to this question, what is the answer? So we've only got 12 minutes left. What are we doing? We need this to be playable. I mean, I could just have a... I kind of want to just be able to pick from this list. Let's do some UX for a second. What does this look like? A sequence here is a... So you've got like this, 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 this. And then you've got the name of the thing. And that's all in one thing here. And then you would have like a bunch of these. Okay, so that's what we've currently got. And what we want to be able to do is, I guess there's a bit more to this, but what we want to be able to do is essentially take this and instead have it look like this. Where we're seeing really just like, I guess an array is still fine, but it would be like, I'm thinking maybe like, this current sequence is kind of interesting. It's almost like I want to see this, and then at the top, I want like current sequence name with like this and that. And then I want a play button. And then I want to see some info about what's happening. Something like that. And maybe like the one that's currently being selected is like highlighted. We could put these two like this. So it's like left, right, or even like this. Left, right, play. Which then becomes obviously pause later. Might be better this way. Then we would put this inside of this. Delete that. Take this, put it here. Take this, make this 20 pixels. Make these have a height that fills the container. This guy, no, I don't think that works. I'm imagining I would have to put something around this. Like that. 10, 10. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I feel like that makes sense to me. Maybe you would even give the index here of which of these we're looking at. So this is like index 1. I guess it wouldn't be pause, would it? It would be just stop. Yeah. And then these are the story beats. I call them steps. So it's the playback, basically. Each cutscene has these 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I would have to show which one. And then maybe I would show the playback position if there was a timeline attached. I could also show that. Or we could show it visually as well. We could do like a playback bar. That might be kind of fun. Maybe along the bottom. It's not bad. You could put it inside if we wanted. Something like that, maybe. The problem is, it's kind of like 2 bars at any one time. There's like the director, and then there's also the cutscene step. I guess you would resolve to whichever one was playing right now. Whichever one was further. But that's pretty reasonable. The playback is still an issue. Now the question is, can I import this exact thing as it is? Yes, I think I can. So this selector is for this. Well, it's for like this, I guess. It kind of should live above here. This belongs to this relative to that. So it would be like something like this, where you would have to go like that, or something awkward like that. Or you could just have these floating somewhere. They'd have to be floating up here though. It's tough because the forward and back arrows, putting them here is the same as, like, the button's the same, the play button. Unless we put this the alternative would be to put this down here, put this beneath here. I think I've got it. Like that, and then have the playback like this. Could even do that. Hey, Foo. It's going okay. And then these two have to be tied together. I suppose you could put this . Really ugly to see that there like that though. That's probably better, just to keep them separate. You've got to keep them separated. And then that's probably the best I could do. So pressing this button would move this down, so we know which one we're selecting. Pressing, if there wasn't a list, this would just be empty. And then you just have the play button there, and then the step that we're currently up to. So then This is for a list. This is for a single. I think that's the best I could do. Let's implement it. We'll rename this to design. We designed faster playback. Correct. We did it. Wow, we did it right on the dot. Now the next one would be the only trouble is there are now 2 places where sequences can get, well, we have 2 things. None of them are good. Let me go show you what this looks like. I want to go to a simple scene like this one. So we have a sequence here, right? We have a sequence player. This one doesn't have a sequence instance. Okay, in that case, you know what? It should be fine. Let's just go build this thing. Now, the struggle is this thing that we're building is not a property drawer. It's just a custom chunk of editor code. It's not a custom property drawer. So do I even have sequence player? I don't think I have one. Sequence player editor. Okay, we can create one though. I think I know what my strategy is. And I'm going to jump straight into it. All right. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. No, this is a custom inspector. No. Oh boy, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for a custom inspector. It's an editor class of a thing. And do I have anything else in the game right now where I do that? I mean, I know I do. I'm confusing myself. Is that right? Why do I have this? Namespace sequence? Did I do that? This isn't in a namespace, is it? No. Oh, that was just somewhere else. That's right. Okay. Hey, there it is. So we did it. That's correct. Hey, how's it going, Ali Wabi? Ali Wahbi, welcome. Okay, so public void draw sequence play back controls for a specific sequence. Okay. And then And then is there such a thing? I don't even know. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's percent. It's not in layout. That's annoying. I don't really want to draw a rect exactly where that is. I'm thinking we could just draw, you know, the difference between like use ASCII rose bar and yeah, I don't know. Happy to just like fake it for now. Pretty sure there's a something that I can do here that looks like this. Nope. Using new GUI layout vertical scope. What? Okay. So what did I want? The play button and that is all in the horizontal scope. And then this is all vertical. Cool. And then this only shows if application dot, no, it shows all the time. Hey, look at that. We got something. Yay. Now let's make these things as narrow as possible. Cool. Good afternoon. Okay. So, instead of drawing the default inspector, I want to draw only the fields that I think we would want to see. So what have we effectively gotten rid of? We've effectively gotten rid of timeline index, and index, and is playing. Which means we really just want to show the connections, these four, and then the sequences. So let's go like draw connections. No. That's it. Cool. Why do we see that twice? All right. We didn't do the label at the top of this. We don't want this. We want the sequence name. Okay. No, I kind of want to do this. And then I want to say something like that for now. Maybe we go back to this and we say no progress. And then we check it now. Crash landing. Hey, there we go. Okay. All right. I still want to draw the list of sequences. Cool. Now, I don't want this to be null. I don't want to return this. But it will fail. What's going to break is sequence is going to be null, which is fine. Actually fine. But this is not right. Hey, how's it going, Tonzach? Okay. I'm doing well. Not too bad. Current event, player.index. I mean, player should never be null. Current sequence, we're checking for null here. I think that should be okay. Project's going okay. I'm sort of just in the mix on something at the moment that I'm not too... I'm having like a midday, I think. So I'm just trying to do something that's generally productive. Okay, this needs to be a number greater than 0. For cannot be less than 0. I think because I'm dividing by 0. Hey. Also, this play button. Bro, what is going on? Okay. I love that you can do that with ChatGPT. I love that I could just do that. It just did it. Like I didn't have to Google the ASCII of the thing and blah, 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 blah. I just did it. Look at that. It's actually doing it. Now, I don't want this. That's pause. Thank you. That's what I want. All right, what did I design? We're pretty close. The only difference is here. I think this should be on that side. No, I put it on that side because I don't want it to interact with that. Fair enough. Okay. So now we're going to do a check. Bum, bum, bum. Boom. Not what I was thinking of doing, but let's have a look. Happy to just see it. Huh. It's actually not a bad way to do it, but I don't want to do it as a drop down. Right. Left button. Okay. Right button. Yes. Let's have a look. We have to pass it in through here. Still a weird drop down. I don't want the drop down. It's not the player index of the current sequence out of the total number of sequences. Yeah, sweet. All right, we got to take a break. I'm not going to take a big break. I'm just going to redo it again. And when we kind of worked on the inspector in that amount of time, we kind of did it. It's hard. It's hard to work on a Pomodoro schedule, but I think it's good to force you not, like I have to essentially not tunnel vision. That's what this allows me to do. It allows me to go, hang on a second. Was this 25 minutes productive compared to where I expected it to be? Should I spend another 25 on this task? I think in the past I would have spent like 4 hours on something. Just tunnel vision way too hard. So if this is doing any better than that, that's better than nothing. I don't really lose flow state. Like I'm still in it. It will take me a little while. to lose my. I'd have to get up and walk around for like 20 minutes or like play a video game or something to lose my train of thought. I'm pretty good at staying locked in, I think. Like if I just do, another one. Whatever. Man, I'm getting a lot of messages from a different project. One sec. Okay. I just need a second to respond to some of this. I'll be right back. All right, let's get into it. This is when things get hard for me to juggle, when I've got multiple projects messaging me at the same time. Okay, we are going to take on this 25 minutes. I probably shouldn't start a new Pomodoro if I'm waiting for a message to come back in. All right, I'm going to give it a minute or two. I'm just going to chill out here for a sec. Oh, okay. Okay. You finished the Drifter and thought it was really good. Some of the puzzles relied on finding tiny details, which was somewhat annoying, but hey, yeah, point and click is a lot like that, isn't it? It's, I think that's kind of just the territory. There has to be some dumb puzzle where you have to click on some specific thing or give some really random item to somebody in a specific way. It's not just give, it's like twist. Twist item. Twist chicken with doorknob. And then the game will work. All right. I think we're good. Let's start our Pomodoro. Now I feel like my context is broken, but we'll jump straight back into it. Update playback features to work properly. Good. Okay. So right now we have this. If I press this, it has this one queued up. That looks pretty good to me. Let's go check out Rose and see if it is comprehensible looking at her character that way. Because I'm so used to looking at it a certain way. Yeah. It would be great if one of these was like highlighted. Like that would make way more sense to me than this. Because currently like this is just like a list of things. Which is fine because it's a field like it should be. And then this thing is just like a totally like separate thing. Which just doesn't look like anything at the moment. And these arrows do not do what I would have expected them to do. So what these should be doing is selecting a different sequence. This should set the current sequence in the player to the previous sequence in the list. No. No, actually, what also needs to happen here is it's like we need a thing that's like public sequence. This is an event sequence called sequence to play. And then this is what we are preparing inside of this. And then here we say sequence to play equals no. How hard is it to just... Surely you can guess what I mean. Okay, so if we've pressed left, then we say sequence to play equals bro. I don't even know if I want to have current sequence be that. Why? What's wrong with what I have? In fact, this shouldn't go like that. Sequence to play should be sequences at that index. There we go. I probably shouldn't even have to do that. Yeah, it should update when I do that. In fact, yeah, it happens when I begin sequence, which happens when I press play here. So I don't need to update player.current sequence. I just need to do this, which is fine. So now let's do the same thing. This should be smart enough to just do that in one shot. Thank you. Let's have a look. So, yeah, there we go. And then this needs to be the index of that. And it shouldn't be a, well, why is it as a label field? Why does it have that? It shouldn't look like it can be played like that. Like, dude, where did we get this? Where did player.index come from? Oh, this. Oh. Wait. Oh, dude. Dude. What is happening here? I don't need any of that. Okay, doesn't even need this. We just need to do this. Done. Cool. Yeah, we started a little late today. Yeah, and then we need to say out of how many. Come on. You can do it. I know you know what I'm trying to do here. Actually, I'd prefer to say index +1. Is there anything that I wish was better about Twitch polls? I don't know. Not really. I think they're okay. What would you... Is there something... What's the motivation behind the question? So I want this number to be based on the amount of... Based on... Sort of. I also think that this needs to be... I mean, it's okay to use it like this. It's just that the bars and the things need to be edited GUI progress bar. Okay. All right, sure. Hey, that's actually great. Thanks. So I want this number. Well, that's okay, but maybe the count has to be -1. Perfect. And then I think I'm just going to add... If there's 3 events, like this, there's 7 events. So that should be 1 out of 7. This should be 2 out of 7. So I need to add 1 to both of those rather than remove 1. Isn't that what I just did? And it's always going to look like it's starting a little bit bigger. Those are correct. All right, so let me go check out what people are saying. So with the PS1, you know how it had no floating point support? Does that mean that the worlds would have been scaled up hugely since the vectors had to work like integers? I don't think that it didn't have floating point support. It just might have been very limited. Otherwise, yes. Yeah, I think so. Is that right? No floating point support or just like a limited... I mean, that's why a lot of the geometry was like snapping around when people were moving. Maybe that's what you mean. I'm actually not sure if it like literally had no floating point support. It might have been that the vector positions didn't support it in the graphics. So yeah, you would just take your vector space and you would multiply it by like a number so big that it didn't need to be divided ever. Yeah. That's how you would get around it for sure. Huh. There you go. So you just make the numbers 100 times bigger. Yeah. That's literally what you do. So like, you know, right now in Unity, this distance between this line here and this line here is 1. That's 1 unit. And this pixel here is 0.01. If you multiply that by 100, now this pixel is 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. And now this distance here is 100. Not that complicated. So, the play button should be grayed out if it's no sequence assigned. Cool. So if active, we should enable or disable the button based on whether active is true. Yes. Oh, I can just do that. Sweet. Can't press the button. Nothing assigned. Rose day 1. We're in. Pretty good. So now we want to import this. Well, first of all, we want this to be like on the right hand side, that to be on the left hand side. I'm not sure how to fix that. I guess I could take this, where are we? Sequence selector. And we would say, this is 30 plus 30 plus 20. Is 80. So this would be the whole width minus 80. Is it not window? Is it position? What's the name of... Current view width? Am I using FSMs? Yeah, I use a finite state machine. That's not good. That's weird. Is it not? How do I'm sure there wasn't... What is the correct way? Let's ask. What is the correct way to set the width of a editor GUI layout component to fill the container it sits within? Expand width. That's pretty cool. I didn't think that existed. But then okay. Okay, so now we know. Okay. What? Okay, so this is margin. Nice. So this no sequence selected should now, we should pick always if it's null. If sequence to play equals null and is not null and count is greater than 0, yes, like that. Okay. So now we can go like this, or we can go like this. We can go over here, we can press play. Pretty good. Now, I want to put this connections. It might actually be nice to put a text box under here and have that text box be the dialogue, if we can read it there. We could, or if we're being really cool and smart and fun, we could show the actual, that's what I'm missing. I want to be able to select this thing inside of this maybe, because now I'm having to check it. I'd love to be able to show this whole thing, a version of this, inside of this, like just underneath here, the current dialogue and who's talking. It's almost 6, so I'm going to stop it with the Pomodoros, and we'll just add another like half an hour. And let's just get as much done as we can here. I'm so happy about this. I should have done this a long time ago. How is this connections header being drawn right now? Is it because of this? That'd be crazy if that, oh wow, it actually is. Hey, CanGB, welcome. Oh yeah, indent level, that's pretty good. Boom. Oh, that is fantastic. That's what we want. Amazing. Now, can I draw where we have rows day one? I want to draw an icon like this and a button next to it. So this is what? This is title for a sequence to be played. This is playback controls. So left of the title, I don't think I want that. I mean, kinda. If we do that, then we don't need to do the label. The only thing I don't like about it is it kind of encourages us to think we can drag things in there, which I don't like. Hey, that worked. I want to draw an icon here, like a texture. I can do that. Nice. Okay, so this is if we go to hierarchy, icons, this is hierarchy icons, sequence icon. Whoa, it's statically accessible too. That's sick. Wait a second. But it's not public. I want that. Can I just make it public? Was that? Hell yeah. Sweet. But it's too big. Saravati, Pink Clinker. Have I got one for you? I've given you one of my very best clinkers. Okay? Because you're... Let's try it. Hey, there we go. Because you're so good and you're such a regular customer. But unfortunately, luck wasn't on your side. I'm sorry, it was banana colored. That was yellow. Not even green. Wow. What is this, int only? It's better. It's not like perfect. But at least it's something that we can actually work with. Let's make this and the play button the same width. Cool. What if we just don't do this? It's okay. I think we need a heading. And then like a gap. Here. Does that not work? Does work. Cool. Okay, well that's looking a bit better. Now let's see if we can draw the thing beneath it. So this is the selector. Now it's void draw. Story step. Hey Swizz, what I'm doing is helping Elias and Morgan get more, I'm making the project more usable for them by drawing them a play button so that they can just play cutscenes for their work. Right now it's really hard to do that. I've got like a bunch of weird things I have to do to make something play. Like if they're looking at a sequence that they're composing something for, and they're like, oh, okay, I want to go watch this in the game. There's no easy way for them to just play it and have it play. So I'm fixing that right now. Cool. Yeah. Okay. That's reasonable. And then this is playback controls. Not that. Get out of here. Hey, thanks for the follow. How's it going? Ooh, that doesn't seem right. Oh, now it does. Perfect. Okay. All right, I think that's pretty good. The next thing was draw story step. Now, I think this is a class that's a module that I use for this, but I can't really find it. So wait, that's not right. It's the editor that I want. I'm pretty sure I broke this out into classes. Animation, dialogue inspector. Yeah, this actually can do it. And there's just a function called draw. Hey, Lishnor, thank you so much. Thanks for the sub. How you doing? So you get a story step, and then I don't know what the index is for. Draw portrait at that index. Okay. So like we could technically draw this. We could say it was portrait index. I guess I was in the context of the dialogue inspector. There's only 2 indices that it could be, and I probably shouldn't have done that. Okay. So let's go here and go public dialogue inspector, public event sequence dot dialogue inspector, event sequence editor. What is this sequence dot dialogue inspector? Okay. Ah. Cool. Hey, Coach Ripkins. Lurking for years. How you been? This might actually work, which would be super impressive. That would be a testament to me actually building this right for once, if it works, which I'm not sure it will. Oh, no, it didn't work. All right, well, definitely not a testament. Script serialization? I don't really understand that. Let me try it again. See what goes wrong first. On disable internal. I don't know what that is. On disable internal. I mean, it's just doing editor stuff. That's the only thing it's doing. I don't know what that is. Object not set to instant object. Unity editor on disable internal. I don't know what that is, man. Oh, you have to give it an editor. Ah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's no good. Now that we want to use it again elsewhere, it's got a dependency on the editor. Okay, well, sequence player, editor. This dialog inspector goes away here. And then on enable this. And then we have to say like this or whatever, or like editor, whatever it is. The thing is, it's going to say, hey, this is something that I need, and this is an event sequence editor. Hey, Beastco. So the problem here is that this, and this, they probably need to be just passed in. That would make it a lot easier. Just whenever we need it. So rather than just call editor, let's make it a bit smarter than that. So every time we mention editor, we need to get rid of that. 1, 2, there's only 2 places, which is great. Saves us a lot of energy. This is a string array of names. Oh, I see. Okay, we don't have to show that. We don't have to show that part. Yeah, okay. What if I just leave that null then? Whoop, just like that. Now we don't even need to worry about refactoring. We just do that. Still no good. My target. So I don't want to be relying on my target. I want to say and then here we could say oh. What did we just call you? Pretty sure it's called my target in the dialog inspector. Is it like this? Or we could just say is new, and then just like on GUI we could say dialog inspector dot my target equals sequence to play. There we go. Or just in general. Just like that. When I move, you move. Just like that. Not quite like that. Oh, screen.width. That's what I was trying to say before. How come I know what screen.width is here, but I don't know what it is everywhere else? That's what I was looking for. What's the difference between current view width and screen.width? I don't know. This is becoming a little bit troublesome. So it's trying to do this. And I guess, does it know what margin is? Oh, okay. Just get off my back. We're so close. Argument out of range. Length cannot be less than 0. This is the length. Argument out of range. Parameter name dot length. This is less than 0. Well, it can't be. What if I just say? Well, I don't actually know what's happening here. What if I just don't do this? Getting control 0's position when in a group with only 0 controls when doing repaint. Begin layout group must be called first. It's because of this. I don't need that anymore. Hello. Do you want to start heating up dinner?
Yeah, start heating.
Heating it up. I'm heating it. Just hitting it. All right. Pals, it's going to work. It's going to work for sure. Hey, there we go. Pretty good. Pretty good. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Make that 86. And then I wanted the play button, playback controls, icon, label field, sequence, draw playback controls. This needs to sick. I didn't know I could do that. Wow, my system's pretty good. That's really good. She's really good. Wow. Now, I can't interact with this. Okay, so why can't we... I mean, we can't really cycle through this. It seems to me that we ought to be able to, though. If player.current sequence is not null. Oh, we don't need that anymore, do we? We're not using current sequence in any of those calculations, so we don't need it. Which means we can do this. Now this play button, here's where the real... What the heck? Playback controls. This. Okay. Here's what we want. Right now, we draw the playback controls, and we're going to try to begin sequence, but hey, the game's not even running. If the application is not playing, then does that work? Can I do... Wait, what? You could just tell it to do it? Oh. Sort of, though. It didn't quite go all the way. I can't... I would need to like set up a coroutine maybe to like wait a little bit. I don't even know if you can do coroutines inside of the editor. Enumisator. Okay. So then it would be like... Brother. Does that let me do that? Whoa. I don't know how to use async. What I want to happen is when I press play, I want the game to start, and then when the game finishes starting, I want to run this thing. So I don't have to press play and then this. I just want that button, if play mode is off, to enable play mode. And then do the thing. There might have to be a callback that we wait for though, of like on scene loaded or something, but that feels like too much. It's not that big of a deal. It's just like we're right there. It's the same button. I just want it to happen. You know, like that. Let's not go crazy. You could just hit it twice. Okay, sweet. Now, I gotta go, pals. This was fun. I'm not done yet. Okay, so what we want to do is, if the sequence player has an interactable, place Armin there. That would be crazy if that works. What do you do? Oh, I think I know what I would do. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's about as good as that's gonna get. I snapped him to exactly where, well, pretty much exactly where he needs to stand. I do have hot reload. Yeah, I use it constantly. That's pretty good. He stood right there, which is, he either stands there, or he's supposed to stand in the middle of this box. So actually, technically, that's the correct place for him to stand. Holy moly. Let's go check this in other places. That was supercharged. That was super powerful. Boom. Boom. Yeah, see, that's where things get a little bit funky. Because this doesn't have the condition interactable. It's just got a box collider 2D. So maybe the alternative would be Okay, we all good?
Balls.
All right, I'll go wash them. All right, pals, I gotta go. This was fun. I'm sorry. Our time has been cut short by my lax ability to not. What do you call it? My lax work, my time management, and my lax attitude to washing up. Attitude to washing up. That's what I meant. All right. I made some cool stuff today. We feel really good about it. I'll be right back. Well, I won't be right back. I'll be back another day. Updates sequence player to work magic in the editor, allowing people to just play stuff, you know? Unhinged commit messages. Let's go. This was so fun. I had a great time. Thanks, everyone. Let's go raid somebody. You better wishlist Insignia if you're a real one. If you haven't done so yet, quickly do it now so that I don't find out. Now's your chance. Let's raid Dev Spius. Thanks, everyone. It was a pleasure. Wishes Insignia on Steam. If you're a real one, thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been Adam. You've been the Pixel Pals. This has been the Indie Tales Game Dev live stream. Until next time. Bye.